Back in 2015 and 2016, things on YouTube were a little bit different than they were now. A lot of different popular, and today, nostalgic stuff was going around.
So I'll play through.
More importantly, you had a couple toy companies getting a bit, dare I say, funky. One of these companies you probably knew. Stickbots. Stickbots were kind of the shit advertising-wise circa 2015. These bastards were everywhere. If you weren't hearing that remix of What I Like About You in their central ad every 2 hours, fuck man, you just didn't have a child that... What else? Oh yeah, that ad for Stickbot Central advertised basically all of the mainline shows that Stickbot had to offer. You got the Stickbot Show, which was where all the majority of their pop culture gold rush went on. The Bachelor, and the greatest of them all, Off the Grid. Now I know what you're thinking. Oh, I have already watched Off the Grid. Millions have. What do you mean I haven't watched it? That's a great question. See, out of all the Stickbot series, by far, the most advertised one on an individual level was Off the Grid. That trailer always intimidated the shit out of me into not watching it when I was younger. And for a series that was as large and admittedly dark as it was, it kind of made sense. Plus, at the time, I was kind of busy obsessing over video games I wasn't old enough to play. Now, to be fair, Fallout 4 was pretty good, but I wasn't exactly missing out on Dawn of War 3. Now, before we commence the summary of the series, allow me to paint a bit more of the picture. Unlike Stickbot's other shows where their animation was made by them, Stickbot had called in possibly one of the best stop-motion animators on the site, Moonshine Animations. The main reason for this show being dark was because of Moonshine Animations. Now, I could go into what animations Moonshine has made, but honestly, feel free to take a look for yourself.
What truth?
That there's a world out there. A world beyond the grid.
Why wouldn't he want me to know about that?
Because he's right where he wants to be, Striker. On top and in charge.
The world of Off the Grid presumably takes place thousands of years after human civilization has fucking died, and our starting location is within a province within the wasteland called the Grid. The Grid is basically the main hive of all Stickbots, the central HQ where every Stickbot resides. A
Stickbot Central, if you will.
So begins the show. A bunch of Stickbots appear to be panicking due to the amount of posters on a wall that all mark missing Stickbots, because reasonably, if you get that many Amber Alerts in 2 weeks in an apocalyptic wasteland, no less, something is probably a little fucky. Before one Stickbot panics fully about how everyone will probably die, he gets fucking blood punched out of consciousness, because this series doesn't follow a weak-ass Stickbot civilian. No, it follows absolute Giga Chad Sharon. Striker, who's like Rango if you were a Necro. Striker has to employ the CIA tactic of assuring everybody, guys, MK Ultra doesn't exist, we haven't been kidnapping people, and we aren't responsible for the creation of the Unibotter. Wouldn't you know, though, it works, and the crowd leaves.
We're all gonna die! Where'd everybody go?
Fast forward to nighttime, and Striker, whilst working on the case of the missing Stickbots, because plot twist, he's not part of the CIA, is given a suggestion by the obvious love interest, Pixel. Now, take a guess. What galaxy, nay, Great Wall of fucking Borealis brain advice wouldn't she give? He suggests to see the common attributes that each incident has in common. Striker puts the dots together, realizing all the disappearances have happened at night. Wait, what time is the scene set at again? Oh, wait a minute. 2 seconds later, because of the time, Pixel gets dragged to the fucking Shadow Realm by a predator. Oh, yeah, I probably should clarify. There are little to no kit bashes in Off the Grid, so everything is just like a pop culture reference. Hell, the predator that chases Striker literally works, sounds, and acts like a predator. In 2 ways. Before the chase ensues, Striker calls down the security division of the Grid. Oopsie whoopsie, turns out they all got their shit rocked. Losing a fight against the Predator, and losing Pixel in the process, Striker gets knocked out. Waking up at an operation table, Striker is told that 70% of his circuits were fried, and it was a miracle that he survived. Striker doesn't give a shit that he nearly died, and wants to know where Pixel went. Immediately, wanting to go and search, he tumbles over. It turns out it's been 3 weeks since the incident, and no one, during that time, knows where the Grid security went, and nobody knows what killed them. The databanks and footage not getting a read on them. Striker, whilst roaming the streets, gets confronted by the leader of the Grid, Regalius. who will not become a turbo megalomaniac during the end of the series, I promise you. Regalius introduces the new security robots being deployed on the grid, meant to filter out the current Stickbot security. Brought to you by Boston Dynamics. Stryker decides to go, fuck it, we ball mode, and leave the grid. But the robots don't budge. Whilst planning to leave, Regalius just fucking appears in Stryker's home, discouraging him from leaving. Telling him that it would really not send a good message to the civilians that their sheriff is leaving. Don't ask why Regalius is simultaneously getting rid of Stryker's power, but also convincing him he has sheriff status. It's probably not important. Down on his luck, Stryker gets a random call from Indian tech support telling him to meet him at the outskirts to leave the grid. Turns out, at the caller's hideout, the caller is a war veteran that Stryker used to work with. Raptus. Raptus is basically a combine soldier mixed with your neighbor who's been invading the ATF for several years. Raptus tells Stryker that Regalius is hiding his citizens from the outside world because he wants to keep being in the US Senate. Raptus offers the exit, and Stryker accepts. The exit route is a minecart rigged with tons of turrets, and it's here where we meet our newest Stickbot, Shift. Shift is the best. He's just like Engineer from Team Fortress 2, or that one game about the funny space zombie. After a quick drive down using the cart, the team sets up at night. Along with it, Raptus reveals in the past that the reason he knew so much about the outside world was because he was a part of an exploration team. Unfortunately, when you fire an M61 Vulcan burst into the abyss, it'll Winchester an entire galley directly into your robotic urethra. Meanwhile, at the fortress, it turns out that all of the prisoner Stickbots, captured by predators from the Predator movie franchise, get freed by fucking Link from The Legend of Zelda. I'm not making this shit up. Look at the background footage. The fleeing Stickbots get stopped by a scythe wielder who has the fucking Force. Like the actual fucking Force, I'm not joking. Meanwhile, in the tunnel, the grenade launcher turrets, which fire normal bullets, are crushed by a horde of incoming xenomorphs. Cue the Deep Rock Galactic section.
Rock and stone! Rock and roll and stone! For rock and stone!
And Shift dies. Shame we won't see any more of him. Raptus takes inventory, and Stryker experiences his first morale debuff. An argument between two is cut short when Guts from Berserk just shows up. During a brawl between Guts and Raptus, Stryker gets pushed directly into a hole, one that leads to an arena filled with Stickbot corpses, and also an eldritch horror. This is Cecilia, one of Moonshine's longest-lasting OCs, and a recurring character on his channel. She's pretty different from our modern counterpart, but it's necessary for that kid's rating.
Oh, you're the only ones in the US selling these? Well, you fucking certainly scalp like it, too!
Cecilia, after catching up with Stryker, gives him an offer, being that he has to go through an Indiana Jones-esque puzzle in order to give her something, as apparently Stryker has the sufficient Reddit karma to pass. I joke, you see. You see, Stryker is too decent of a living being to be on Reddit. After getting a golden chalice that will not show up again, I promise you, and meeting Guts again, Stryker manages to escape back up onto the surface, and so ends Season 1.
What happened here?
I don't know. Probably a small war or something.
Something tells me whatever it wasn't small.
Season 2 opens with Stryker riding in a Jeep, drinking a Capri Sun before stopping next to two killing floor players.
I'm looking to gather some information. Where's the best place to look?
I just bought shares in you.
And heading down the street. Cut to the fortress, and it turns out the scythe wielder from earlier has the access to the same robots the grid has, and also just so happens to know where Stryker is from those robots. Wow, what a crazy coincidence. Stryker enters a trading room to find intel and finds one person who uses his same currency. Truly a man of value and rarity. At this point, we find out Stryker's force blaster is connected into him and is directly built around the Stickbot design. In return for the info Stryker gives to the dealer, he reveals the highest form of currency around to be fuel cells, which Stryker notices just so happen to be exactly like Stickbot power nodes.
Crazy coincidence!
The dealer reveals that the nodes came from the good old city of Candlesmoke, which is controlled by an individual named Vampa. Stryker goes directly north of the outpost. He does pretty well, only to forget the first rule of the wasteland. If you leave the car, You leave all your rights and jurisdiction favoring your privacy with it. Before collecting some good old-fashioned American gasoline, Stryker almost gets turned into JFK. Only instead of Lee Harvey Oswald, it's a fucking Sword Art Online character. In a flashback, it's revealed Stryker is a genuine war veteran. We'll talk about that in 4 seasons, don't worry. And after witnessing one of his men fucking die, gets berated by a random blue bot from across the room before spouting your typical Spec Ops The Line video essay shit, before the border nearly gets overrun and a certain High Lord requests the help of Stryker.
This is Captain Stryker.
This is Field Commander Italian. We're being overrun at the border. We need backup. I repeat, we need backup.
The blue Stikbot turns out to be Clint, who just had a wholesome family reunion with Stryker. An American-style family reunion. Cue the duel between red and blue semi-organic robots in the middle of nowhere in the first third of a story using one-handed weapons. Even with the killing blow in reach, Stryker refuses to kill Clint. Clint was just about to leave while refusing to elaborate, before the bombshell of Pixel being kidnapped is dropped right onto Clint's robotic nutsack. So anyways, Clint casually explains that the reason why this is all happening is because Vampa, that's the force wielder from earlier by the way, is peddling a gigantic organ harvesting operation, and basically is a demigod who barely anybody can stand in her way. After that, the two drive further up north and settle down for the night. Yo, holy shit, is that the fucking Golden Goblet? It's back! And it's gone. Cecilia Nightmare Sequence time! Back in the fortress, Pixel and Link, who are roommates now, snap the neck of a fucking robot. With the robots on high alert and Pixel on the move to escape, she runs into Vampa. Well, seems like Pixel is actually doing a good job fighting Vampa. Stryker and Clint stop by a destroyed town. There are 0 red flags aside from the fact that there's killing floor ambience, and all the buildings have suspiciously large areas of destruction, and the fact that the intro to the season I made just so happened to have 2 very deliberately placed eyes in that. Stryker is very clearly aware of this, and Clint is, you know, just like him. He's also worried. Just kidding, we found A12, baby! God bless America! Clint finds a motorcycle, which happens to have its alarm go off. 2 Scrake spawning sound effects happen, and the monster that destroyed the town is yeah, it's Megatron. It's straight up Megatron.
Do you want me?
Clint, the smartass that he is, abandons Stryker to fight the gigantic bulletproof Megatron with a couple AA-12 magazines. Yo, wait, holy shit! Is that... Raptus is back, and he's here to destroy Megatron with facts and logic, and also a flare gun that attracts rift crawlers, gigantic titanium worms that are 100 meters from your location and approaching at a surprisingly rapid pace, I'm gonna be honest with you. Oh shit, Spec Ops Nightmare Sequence, the voices won't stop! Raptus and Stryker formulate a plan to infiltrate an experimental facility that's located underground. After doing a quick drop down in a way that looks like something straight out of Silent Hill 2, they go into the fucking White Room from Gmod. Man, time for some wacky facility hijinks, like reality bending horrors, yeah! Disemboweled Stickbots, which really talk when they slowly die. Coked up ultra tungsten Stickbots. Come on down to Vampa's facility, we'll just straight up fucking kill you here! Raptus gets his arm ripped off. Man, I sure hope he uses regular medical technology or prosthetic to get it back.
No.
Raptus, what are you doing?
Can you feel it, Stryker?
Yeah, so basically Raptus kills like 6 Stickbots to become Atom Smasher / Tiberos the Red Wake / George / whatever other sci-fi big guy overpowered character there is. Stryker gets absolutely wrecked by Raptus. His speed and strength simply above anything he's able to deal with. This is exactly where Stryker should die. However, Cecilia isn't exactly fucking keen on this. Cecilia appears from the hole Stryker was thrown into, and so does he. Cecilia then proceeds to flex her power using the 3 sacred rules. Gaslight, Gatekeep, Girl Boss. Stryker throws a bomb at Raptus, killing him and the structure of the entire facility for some reason, you know, because that's how buildings work. I would know. I'm an expert demolitionist. Fortunately for Stryker, Cecilia is a walking fast travel system and female Giga Chad in one package. You know, it's starting to feel like the series is like escalating a little and that maybe I rushed the season. Hopefully the next season won't be that chaotic. Could you imagine if the next season was more chaotic than this one? You know, could you, like after that, we can't possibly escalate from
I've spent years experimenting on all manners of life forms, researching how best to extract the life out of their bodies. converting it into a source of power.
What is that thing?
Season 3 opens up with a curfew occurring in the grid, which is weird since I don't remember that happening. Yeah, I don't think this has happened before. So after a Stikbot gets murdered in plain view, Regalius gets a Discord call from Vampa. Vampa requests the supplement of 50 Stickbots, and Regalius accepts somewhat reluctantly. Wow, government secretly fucking us over? It's been 3 months since the execution of Raptus, and Stryker has been prowling the wastelands non-stop, wanted by the forces of Vampa's government. Making a deal with a robot, Stryker gets the location of Vampa's HQ, or at least, you know, that's somewhat implied. But there isn't exactly time to go there, since next thing you know, the Texas Ranger— I meant Dr. Hans Killing Floor shows up, and suddenly the entire marketplace is out to fucking end the series right there. Betas will always target the alpha males, and those betas happen to be fucking everywhere at the outpost. Just when Stryker is about to go straight to Jan, forces of the perimeter of the outpost get erased from orbit by some familiar-looking turrets. Stryker pulls a Kratos, using a larger enemy to kill those around him. Yet another piece of evidence to my claim that Stryker scales at universal level.
Holy shit! Is that fucking Shift?
After clearing out the outpost, we see Stryker's home, akin more to a nuclear bunker than anything, even with a salvaged Terminator, meant to feed Stryker info via mining its CPU. According to Shift, he woke up in the wreckage of the railway, got traumatized, got into a facility, and triggered the Metal Gear Sahelanthropus antivirus system. Could have stayed protected with Surfcar Carrot on VPN. Oh shit, 102.3 Vampa FM is on. For only $2.99 and walking into a very obvious trap, you can prevent Pixel from being murdered on live television.
Shift, I know what we're doing today.
A random bar, Clinton Estic painting live, almost get gunned down by a few power node hunters if it weren't for their fucking Space Marine level reaction speed. Whilst training with Link in their cell, Pixel gets a free tour with Vampa throughout the lair. And it's all at this marking point where off the grid, starts to get a little more, how do I say this?
With death?
It turns out Vampa has been getting all her power from harvesting energy from various life forms mixed with her bleeding edge tech. It's only when she found Stickbots that things really kicked off, each one with enough electricity to power a small power plant. We also learn about a certain place and creature of it called the Nightmare Realm. Wait 2 seasons, we'll get to that place. This has been giving Vampa extraordinary levels of electric bending. Wanting to test her new charge-up fueled by Stickbots, she sword fights with Pixel. Pixel seemingly incapacitates her by cutting her arm off, trying to free Link, only for Vampa to rebuild and snap Link's fucking Back home, Regalius sacrifices a batch of Stickbots in front of the crowd before a war veteran decides to rebel. Okay, I think I see where the series is going. At a gas station, Stryker and Shift are cornered by a squad of bounty hunters who are gunned down by a Katana Media turret, and man, I hope the four have a nice civil reunion. Clint, recognizing the threat to Pixel, accepts a temporary truce between them, all for the greater good. The plan to raid Vampa's HQ is simple. Get Stryker in, shut down the security, and blow up the main reactor. I call that shit payday 2. Stryker gets captured to be murdered because holy shit, who knew? This actually was a fucking trap! Only for the security robots to be shut down from a piece of his gear. Charging into the base, the crew find themselves cornered by a wall of robots. Worse yet, or better yet, every cell has just gotten loose, including the ones for Stryker, Pixel, and all of the most sane decaying winter players. By the use of Clint as a distraction, the robots are gunned down and the team can face Vampa, but not before being raided by multiple xenomorphs due to a wrong turn along with their queen, where tragically Claymore Clay connectivity sacrifices herself. Pixel and Stryker battle Vampa in the reactor room. With Stryker down, things seem desperate, until Clint and Shift show up to fight against her. Shift gets the opening to plant the C4 B site, but Vampa is able to throw off the entire squad. Just when she acquires the detonator, a xenomorph comes in and fights her like a pitbull fighting a kindergarten. With the detonator back in their hands, the reactor blows up, and in the escape of Clint and Pixel, Stryker and Shift get stuck behind a wall of rubble, and their suffering is cut short beneath the rubble, killing them both.
Presumably.
With Clint and Pixel the only ones left, they make one last new objective. Get